The left perfected the game of power, and Trump didn't cry about it. He learned the game and he flipped it. And now they're panicking. You guys gotta check this video out.
Alert. Overnight, the Texas Senate passed the state's new congressional app after weeks of Democratic protests, sending it over to Governor Greg Abbott's desk. He's expected to quickly sign it into law.
State Democratic Senator Carol Alvarado had planned a long speech as a last-ditch effort to delay the measure, but Republicans blocked it before she could start.
My filibuster was shut down. They created an excuse to shut it down. I will not be silent, and I will not stop talking about this.
Despite wearing comfortable...
Translation, guys. Right there. Translation. They lost the game and they're crying a foul. Right? That right there is not oppression. That's losing, plain and simple. And when Trump wins fair and square, when they threw everything illegal and everything just heartbreaking in the media at him, they just want to get on the media and cry. You guys got to watch this video all the way out because I have a lot of material to cover. And I need you guys to like the video. Let's keep going.
Sneakers and a knee brace in preparation for her fight. The chamber was pushed to a final vote. Democrats say they plan to challenge the legislation in court.
The Trump-backed map secures an additional 5 GOP-leading districts ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. This is one step closer to the end of a long saga that was filled with a 2-week Democratic walkout and threats of arrest from Republicans. But this is just the beginning of the nationwide congressional map battle. Texas has kicked off a wave of redistricting efforts across the country, including in California. So, we knew it was going to end this way. Right?
Exactly. We all knew that. The Democrats gerrymandered for decades. But when Trump levels the playing field, he makes everything an even game. They want to call it a crisis. I'm telling you, this is about to be a next crazy 6 months. This next 6 months is going to be insane because we're about to watch this all unfold. Everything that we've been on YouTube telling you guys for the longest, we're all going to watch the eggs hatch.
Right?
Yes,
You did.
But I think the big takeaway is that it's on now. The redistricting, gerrymandering battle, President Trump is doubling down, saying they did it, we're going to do it. And the interesting thing is to see where this goes, because you do have these heavily Democratic, already gerrymandered states like Illinois, like even Massachusetts. Obama was raising money in Massachusetts to try and, fight for the redistricting. Massachusetts has all Democrat members of Congress.
It is really what Griff is talking about, that Donald Trump in so many ways is just really kind of teaching people, hey, they play this way, we're going to play this way too. Exactly. Don't feel bad because they do it to you.
Right. And you've got to, you have nothing if you don't actually win some of these fights.
Correct.
It's interesting because, of course, as you point out, Griff, in a place like Massachusetts, they can say that they want to fight back, but when there's no more seats to glean out of the situation, you're kind of
when you've
screwed.
already done it so long.
Yeah, and you've already perfected it. And then, of course, you also have a lot of other states around the country that are Republican-leaning states that are like, okay, sure, if you want to start this fight, because Gavin Newsom said he's going to do it in California, and I guess there might be a seat or two there that they can further squeeze out of it. But then all you've done is poke more bees' nests because more Republican states are like, okay, we'll do it too.
Well, I think also the next fight, I mean, not to move on from the gerrymandering, quote unquote, gerrymandering and the maps on this, the next fight is really the census. Donald Trump saying we are only going to count citizens in the census. And when you do that, Democrats will lose many seats, especially in California.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
That right there, guys, that's the knockout punch, right? If you don't respect the law, you don't get rewarded with power. You just don't. Only citizens count. That's crazy that we have to say that. That's crazy that we have to stop something so illegal and scandalous. It's sad almost. Let's keep going, man. You guys gotta like the video and keep watching this one.
Something to watch, and in California particularly, that's a state that Trump won 38% of the vote, but yet 83% of the congressional delegation is Democrat, and so it doesn't really serve
rigging.
Even setting aside the census stuff, it doesn't represent the voters' will, and California is going to be a one to watch.
This isn't retribution. This is restoration, and Trump is fixing exactly what the Democrats broke. Let's just let the results speak for themselves. Check out this next clip.
Welcome back. A Texas Senate committee today on a party line vote advanced the state's redistricting map. Also, the state's Attorney General Ken Paxton launched an investigation into a George Soros-backed political action committee for assisting Democratic lawmakers who have left the state to deny a quorum to slow that redistricting process down. Earlier, I spoke to Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Texas Democratic
Meltdown.
Congresswoman Jasmine
Meltdown
Crockett
alert.
joins me now. Congresswoman, my audience is pretty thoroughly dialed in on this Texas redistricting battle. So I want to go through, if I could with you, your hierarchy of concerns. Number one, how concerned or not concerned are you about what Senator Cornyn, John Cornyn, said today, that the FBI has granted his request to go hunt down members of the Texas legislature who are not in Texas?
Oh, it's absolutely concerning. Obviously, this is not a federal issue. This is absolutely a state issue, as these are state lawmakers, number one. Number two, there's a lot of things that our FBI could be doing, such as keeping us safe, instead of doing the bidding of a corrupt president who has decided that he doesn't want any accountability, and he knows that the persons within his party are not willing to hold him accountable. And honestly, frankly, it is so concerning that this came from John Cornyn. Now, a Ted Cruz doing this, that sounds on brand, but John Cornyn is not this guy. I will tell you that I honestly have the utmost respect for John Cornyn. He has been a good partner when it comes to working on legislation. We have always put Texas first. So the idea that it's now Texas last and it's whatever the orange orangutan wants him to do is really sad, that he would get to this point in his career and then decide that he would start to kind of play the political games.
The orange orangutan, I believe, is your reference to the President of the United States.
Imagine being a sitting congresswoman and your best rebuttal to President Trump is a zoo insult. This is what happens when emotion replaces intelligence.
Yes.
Understood. Just wanted to clarify. How concerned or not concerned are you, Congresswoman Crockett, about efforts to expel members of the Democratic caucus in the state legislature?
Oh, I'm not concerned at all.
Why?
It doesn't concern me that they are trying to do this, because obviously I was a part of the quorum break in 2021. And so when I participated in that quorum break, there were various things that they tried to submit to the Supreme Court at that time. And the Texas Supreme Court at that time, which for the most part has the same makeup as it did in 2021, it specifically said that these were political issues and therefore they had no jurisdiction to get involved. I don't think that this will be any different. One of the things that MAGA is really good about is they always want to put on a show. So it's like, grabbing people.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm done pausing it so much. But this is coming from the same exact Democrats that fled the state instead of doing their job. That's not putting on a show. That's putting on a circus. Everybody was making fun of you guys.
Off the streets. That's about putting on a show. Doing things like, oh, we're going to kick you out of office is about putting on a show. I truly believe that not every portion of democracy has failed just yet. And frankly, the only part that hasn't fully kind of succumbed at this point is the courts in general. Any wins that we have experienced on behalf of democracy thus far have been in the courts. And so while I don't necessarily have the utmost faith in all courts, I do know that there is recent precedents specifically about quorum breaking for Texans, as well as I understand that in our Texas Constitution, it specifically allows for a quorum break. So it doesn't make sense. I just don't see this Supreme Court twisting itself into a pretzel just to appease this governor who's trying to appease the president.
What about accusations from the sitting Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, that those who have fled the state, who are members of the legislature, who are Democrats, are accepting bribes to do so, to pay for their expenses?
Listen, now I will tell you that he knows a little something about taking money that he's not supposed to take. I mean, if there's anybody that understands breaking the law, it is definitely the one that was under federal investigation for I don't know how many years and was subject to state felony indictments for close to probably 8 years in the state of Texas. But honestly, we've done quorum breaks before. And again, there's never been anyone that even tried to presume or tried to pretend as if this was bribery. Listen, these are people that are out there. They are working on behalf of their constituents. And when we are not in a regular session in Texas, we are allowed to take donations. We are one of the few states that, so long as you're in session, regular session, you're not allowed to take any money. And the reason is because literally lobbyists would come on the floor and drop money historically in Texas to try to get their way. So they changed the law. And so there is nothing illegal about what they're doing. People can donate to them and support them in their advocacy and how it is that they believe that they need to represent for their districts.
On this
I think what we should do is search up these people's net worth and see what type of donations they should be accepting. Because I think Jasmine Crockett's worth like $3 to $6 million. We're talking about accepting donations, going on a corn.
program last night,
Man,
Brian Harrison, who is a Republican member of the Texas House, said that the Democrats who have left Texas are hypocrites, his word, not mine, because they fled to Illinois, a deeply gerrymandered state, or they fled to California or New York, deeply Democratic gerrymandered states. So he listed three and said those are representative of flaws in the system that Texas Republicans are just trying to balance in Texas. I'd like your response.
Yeah, listen, I just can't listen to any Republican right now. If you are not a Republican that had a problem with the fact that the U.S. House decided that they would go on recess for an entire month because they did not want to deal with the Epstein files, then you absolutely have no place to speak. Now, I will be honest and tell you that there were some Republicans, mostly on the federal level, that absolutely said in a very bipartisan way that they believed in the transparency and they believed that these files should absolutely be turned over to us. So all of a sudden, you want to talk about this? It's the same thing with Congressman Kiley, who all of a sudden wants to file a bill saying, hey, we can't do mid-decade redistricting only because he believes that he's on the chopping block in California if California does what they're saying that they're going to do. So here's the deal. Time out for Democrats just sitting there and being the bigger person and absolutely doing the moral thing, the right thing, when Republicans are playing with a completely different playbook. They don't know how to deal with us actually deciding that we will get on their level. And unfortunately, for the American people, that level is not an uplifting level. Unfortunately, it is very down and dirty. But at the end of the day, we refuse to be anybody's doormat. So I got news for them. I'm not going to let you walk over me, because walking over me means you're walking over and you're stepping on my constituents.
so look, we're gonna end the video there. Let me make myself bigger here. Being the bigger person to me is kind of crazy because you guys aren't even being present people, yet you want people to respect you like you're these so caring people. You literally left the state. No one's asking you to be doormats. We're asking you to be lawmakers. That's the point. That's your job. This isn't about race, gender, or party. It's about common sense. And common sense says if you can't do your job, step aside for someone who can. It's simple to me. America's divided by people who produce results and people who produce excuses. Al Green, Jasmine Crockett. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.